3 national parks, 1 volcanic monument, an endless source of stunning views. Welcome to the Evergreen State, located in the western United States. Washington is a place of wonder, mystery, and discovery. From a heavily glaciated mountain, to an ancient smoking volcano, to a cool temperate rainforest, the surrounding area delivers an experience rich in variety and splendor. To the north, see the famous Liberty Bell Peak among the many snowy mountains, while in the south, the incredibly tall Mount Rainier rises high into the clouds. And finally, to the west, visitors can find an incredibly diverse landscape furnished with waterfalls, beaches, mountains, and rainforests. So, get ready to experience everything this place has to offer. It covers over 230,000 acres on the western side of the Cascade Range. This is Mount Rainier National Park, located in southern Washington. Approximately 97% of the area is wilderness. The Park Service estimates that 58% of Rainier is covered by forest. Here, the age of the trees can range from as little as 100 to more than 1,000 years old. Pine, fir, cedar, and hemlock trees dominate much of the landscape. Within the park is a diverse ecosystem, home to more than 1,000 species of plants and animals. Columbian black-tailed deer, Douglas squirrels, elk, and black bears are among the most common sightings. Rainier is also known for having some of the best wildflower displays in the world. It's still early in the season, however, and they are not yet ready to bloom. "50 miles from Seattle, Washington, Mount Rainier rises high into the clouds. At 14,410 feet, it is the most prominent peak in the Cascade Range. Rainier is considered an active volcano, and its last eruption occurred 150 years ago. It is the most heavily glaciated peak in the continental U.S., with 26 major glaciers and 36 square miles of permanent snowfields. As a result, Rainier has played a key role in developing 6 major rivers. Water is essential to supporting the diversity of life that exists here. The park includes more than 800 protected lakes and streams, spread across several habitats. This is the Nisqually River, an ever-changing glacial region. The river's channel is frequently transformed by water flowing from the Nisqually Glacier. The milky white color of the water is caused by fine rock sediment detached from the glacier bed during the melting process. These particles, also called glacier flour, are deposited onto the bottom of the streambed, creating high formations that divert water. This is actually what causes the river to flow in a winding pattern. In this constantly shifting environment, plants along the river struggle to survive and develop. Not far from the river is the spectacular Christine Falls, a signature attraction at Mount Rainier. Here, the water plunges 40 feet down to the lower reaches of Van Trump Creek. The falls were named in honor of Christine Louise Van Trump, a 9-year-old girl who, despite having a crippling nervous system disorder, ascended 10,000 feet on Rainier's steep slope. Today, Christine Falls still flows in memory of her strength and courage. Overhead, a stone masonry bridge forms a picturesque frame around the majestic falls. This is likely one of the most photographed areas in Mount Rainier. One of the more popular hikes in the park follows the Silver Falls Loop, a 3-mile journey offering a variety of stunning views. Departing from the Ohanapakash Visitor Center, the path to the falls begins with the Hot Springs Nature Trail. Here, several areas of sulfur-scented water can be seen flowing over the rocky landscape. These streams are brown, yellow, and green in color, similar to those found at Yellowstone National Park. Continuing on the loop takes hikers to the beginning of the Silver Falls Trail. Hikers of all ages and skill levels are drawn to this trail due to its relatively flat and easily accessible terrain. The surrounding area offers stunning views of small ponds, waterfalls, and streams. Further along the path, a footbridge offers a look at Laughing Water Creek. This enchanting collection of waterfalls provides a gorgeous break before the main attraction. At 1.5 miles, a truly remarkable display awaits. Blue, green, and white swirls make their way through the rolling water. Silver Falls is one of the most beautiful sections of the Ohanapakash River. This thundering cascade tumbles 70 feet over a large rocky ledge. The force of the water creates both a powerful splash and a gentle mist. Out of all the things to see and do at Mount Rainier, Silver Falls is easily one of its finest offerings. The trail concludes on a bridge overlooking the Ohanapakash River. Considered one of the most picturesque streams within the park, its crystal clear waters, moss-laden banks, and surrounding forests come together in perfect harmony. "50 miles southwest of Mount Rainier is another active volcano. May 18th, 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted into a fiery storm. The volcano unleashed massive amounts of rock, snow, and ice down the mountain at more than 200 miles per hour. Ash filled the air, rising 15 miles above the summit. St. Helens left a path of destruction spanning 6 miles, destroying nearly all vegetation and wildlife. While the eruption lasted a total of 9 hours, the surrounding area was transformed almost instantly. The volcano continued to erupt violently through 1986. Over time, a lava dome began to form. Thick waves of lava seeped out of the crater, each one piling on top of the next until the dome stood 920 feet high. Today, the area is slowly recovering from that powerful event in 1980. A vast gray landscape has replaced tall green forest. Across the region, surviving plants and animals are few and far between. In 1982, President Reagan and Congress established this 110,000-acre National Volcanic Monument. Here, the goal was to promote active research, recreation, and education. Within the monument are several viewpoints, trails, and visitor centers offering impressive views of the volcano. At 8,366 feet, St. Helens is the most active volcano in the Cascades. The Johnston Ridge Observatory is situated 5.5 miles from the crater. This visitor center hosts a variety of interpretive displays that tell the story of Mount St. Helens. Extending across 1 million acres, Olympic National Park is a land of wonder, beauty, and unbelievable variety. Here, visitors can gaze upon spectacular mountain vistas, serene old-growth forests, and enchanting coastal beaches. The park and surrounding area is home to an incredibly diverse range of wildlife. Species of raccoons, beavers, and mink live mostly in the lowlands, while at higher elevations, sightings of deer, elk, cougars, and bears are quite common. "17 miles south of Port Angeles and nearly 1 mile above sea level, Hurricane Ridge is the most accessible mountain region within the park. In clear weather, visitors can enjoy fantastic views of the Olympic Mountains. At this time, however, it is still early in the morning, and the clouds have descended close to the ground, shrouding Mount Olympus from view. But every now and then, an opening appears, allowing a glimpse at the grand summit. "33 miles west of the Pacific Ocean, Olympus rises 7,980 feet above sea level. Around 266 glaciers and permanent ice fields have been discovered along the Olympic Range. Sloping down Olympus is the Blue Glacier, which extends over 2.5 miles. Researchers estimate that its mass is equivalent to around 20 trillion ice cubes. That's a lot of ice. Nestled in the northern foothills of the Olympic Mountains is Lake Crescent. The pristine waters of this deep, glacially carved lake make it the perfect destination for those seeking natural beauty. In the summertime, visitors often enjoy kayaking, sailing, and relaxing along the shore. Not far from the lake, Rainier Falls is an exquisite landmark just off the beaten path. An easy 1.5-mile hike leads directly to the falls. Surrounding the well-maintained dirt path is an old-growth forest made up of fir, cedar, hemlock, and alder trees. Further along, the powerful Barnes Creek can be seen up close. This rapid stream of water makes its way down from the falls, which are just up ahead. At the end of the trail, a viewing bridge provides a picturesque view of Rainier. Here, water drops nearly 90 feet from a cliff into a small pool below. The area is open year-round and is a highly popular destination due to its accessibility. miles from Marymere is another signature waterfall settled within the dense temperate rainforest of the Olympic Mountains. Beneath towering old trees and surrounded by lush vegetation, a flow of misty water splits into 4 channels. A truly breathtaking sight, it is one of Washington's most sought-out waterfalls by photographers. The water tumbles 37 feet off the side of a cliff into the narrow canyon seen here. From there, it drops an additional 11 feet and exits the canyon into a broader gorge below. In contrast to most falls on the Olympic Peninsula, Sol Duc is quite different in that it is viewed from above stream level rather than below. In perfect weather, a rainbow can often be spotted arching over these majestic falls. "14 miles from the town of Forks is a beach known as La Push. It is situated on the western coast of Olympic National Park and is home to the Quillette tribe, a community that has lived and hunted in this area for thousands of years. The beach is the northernmost point of Washington's Pacific Coast beaches and is popular for surfing, whale watching, and relaxation. La Push is wide and crescent-shaped, offering an unobstructed view of the western horizon. Perhaps the most popular destination in Olympic National Park is one of the finest remaining examples of temperate rainforest in the United States. The Hoh rainforest is living proof of water's immense power. The region receives between 12 and 14 feet of precipitation each year, and the result is a lush green canopy with remarkable diversity. Some of the largest and oldest trees in the world can be found here. Giant Sitka spruce and western hemlock are the dominant species here. But there are others, like the western red cedar, big leaf maple, and black cottonwood. Many of these trees are hundreds of years old and can extend up to 250 feet high. Adorning the tree trunks and branches are mosses, ferns, and lichens, which give the forest a jungle-like appearance. The forest is an interconnected system to which every organism contributes. Whenever a tree dies, it slowly decays back into the soil, eventually supporting new life as a nurse log. They provide a central habitat for whole communities, including mosses, fungi, small mammals, amphibians, and insects. Temperatures here are quite moderate and seldom drop below freezing or exceed 80 degrees Fahrenheit. As a result, many fauna have settled here, including the northern spotted owl, Pacific tree frog, and Olympic black bear. Here too is the largest concentration of Roosevelt elk, named after Teddy. It was actually because of these creatures that Olympic was named a national monument in 1909, and then a national park in 1938. Winding through the rainforest, the Hoh River extends 56 miles all the way to the Pacific Ocean. This is a glacial river created by ice formations on Mount Olympus. The glaciers grind rock into fine glacial flour, which gives the river its milky slate blue color. As the final stop on the Spruce Nature Trail, the Hoh River provides a most tranquil view before exiting the forest. Less than 3 hours from Seattle is the third and final national park within Washington state. The North Cascades has a lot to offer visitors, with dense forested valleys, towering mountains, and cascading waters. This is Gorge Creek Falls, one of the few developed waterfalls in the park. Here, the water slides down the side of the gorge, obscured slightly by the many trees surrounding it. abundant rain and mild winters provide the perfect environment for trees in the Pacific Northwest to grow very large and old. Conifers, also known as the cone bearers, dominate the forests of the North Cascades. Other species found here include the maple, poplar, and alder, which grow along the edges of streams and rivers. The North Cascades is one of the most diverse ecosystems on Earth. Animals with fins, fur, feathers, and scales inhabit this dramatic and beautiful environment. Columbia black-tailed deer, Douglas squirrels, and pikas wander the park in great numbers. Others, like the gray wolf, fisher, and wolverine, are more difficult to spot. Extreme variation in rock and soil types, exposure, slope, elevation, and rainfall is reflected in the diverse plant life here. At 1,630 species, no other U.S. national park surpasses North Cascades in the number of plants recorded. The rivers, lakes, and streams attract breeding, migrating, and wintering birds. Park rangers have identified roughly 200 species here. Some of these include rare animals such as the bald eagle, osprey, and harlequin duck. Here, a raven rests on top of a tree, searching for insects to eat. Every creature, regardless of its size, plays a significant role in the North Cascades. By far, the most prominent feature in the park is the expansive mountain range. The North Cascades extend more than 9,000 feet above sea level, and research shows that they continue to rise, shift, and form. Geologists believe that these mountains were formed thousands of miles south in the Pacific Ocean around 90 million years ago. It's estimated that these formations were attached to plates of oceanic rock and that they slowly drifted northward before colliding with North America. The force of impact caused the rock formations to be thrust upwards and faulted laterally into an arrangement of mountains. Today, the North Cascades is one of the most complex and least understood geological systems in North America. Resting on top of the mountains, over 300 glaciers and countless snowfields have helped develop thousands of miles of rivers and streams. This is considered one of the snowiest places on Earth and the most heavily glaciated area in the United States outside of Alaska. Beginning in November, the road is closed due to heavy snowfall and typically doesn't open again until April. This is Washington Pass, an overlook situated at an elevation of 5,477 feet. Here, breathtaking views of ice-capped mountains surround a center viewing platform. 1 mile away, the famous Liberty Bell Peak lies on the right-hand side, standing 7,600 feet high. In the summer months, this is a popular destination for skilled climbers. This is but a taste of what the Cascades have to offer. Within the park, visitors can experience a beautiful alpine landscape. With so many trails, overlooks, and campsites, there really is so much left to explore here. So, there you have it. Washington is a state packed with so much natural beauty. The variety here is just incredible. Mountains rising high into the clouds. Thundering waterfalls surrounded by forest. Sandy beaches perfect for whale watching. Here, a lifetime of discovery awaits. In the south, Rainier stands as the tallest mountain in the state, while Mount St. Helens reminds us of nature's destructive power. In the west, Olympic is like 3 parks in one, with remarkable variety. And finally, to the north, the Cascades offer gorgeous views of snow-capped mountains. There really is no place quite like the Evergreen State. 50 miles from Seattle, Washington, Mount Rainier rises high into the clouds. At 14,410 feet, it is the most prominent peak in the Cascade Range. Rainier is considered an active volcano, and its last eruption occurred 150 years ago. It is the most heavily glaciated peak in the continental US, with 26 major glaciers and 36 square miles of permanent snowfields. As a result, Rainier has played a key role in developing 6 major rivers. Water is essential to supporting the diversity of life that exists here. The park includes more than 800 protected lakes and streams spread across on the western side of the Cascade Range. This is Mount Rainier National Park, located in southern Washington. Approximately 97% of the area is wilderness. The Park Service estimates that 58% of Rainier is covered by forest. Here, the age of the trees can range from as little as 100 to more than 1,000 years old. Pine, fir, cedar, and hemlock trees dominate much of the landscape. Within the park is a diverse ecosystem, home to more than 1,000 species of plants and animals. Columbian black-tailed deer, Douglas squirrels, elk, and black bears are among the most common sightings. Rainier is also known for having some of the best wildflower displays in the world. It's still early in the season, however, and they are not yet ready to bloom. To the north, see the famous Liberty Bell Peak among the many snowy mountains, while in the south, the incredibly tall Mount Rainier rises high into the clouds. And finally, to the west, visitors can find an incredibly diverse landscape furnished with waterfalls, beaches, mountains, and rainforests. So, get ready to experience everything this place has to offer. It covers over 230,000 acres, several habitats. This is the Nisqually River, an ever-changing glacial region. The river's channel is frequently transformed by water flowing from the Nisqually Glacier. The milky white color of the water is caused by fine rock sediment detached from the glacier bed during the melting process. These particles, also called glacier flour, are deposited onto the bottom of the streambed, creating high formations that divert water. This is actually what causes the river to flow in a winding pattern. In this constantly shifting environment, plants along the river struggle to survive and develop. Not far from the river is the spectacular Christine Falls, a signature attraction at Mount. Three national parks, one volcanic monument, an endless source of stunning views. Welcome to the Evergreen State, located in the western United States. Washington is a place of wonder, mystery, and discovery. From a heavily glaciated mountain to an ancient smoking volcano, to a cool, temperate rainforest, the surrounding area delivers an experience rich in variety and splendor.